Andor, I feel like it's just appropriate for the universe. And they even have stuff in Andor, like they got that beach resort thing, and it's just kind of like, but there's something twisted to it that makes it feel real within the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I can't even really tell you what it is, to be honest with you.
It doesn't feel like it's pulled from our world and like thrown in on camera.
Yeah.
It feels like it was developed for a camera, but
absolutely. Yeah. I think another thing, again, back to Andor, is just like, Andor has a really weird way of, I don't know how to say it. It's just like building this world that you can kind of sink your teeth into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I really felt like immersed in it the whole time.
Yeah.
And I never said this out loud before, but I think in a way, the people making the film, the director, the editor, DP, all of that, when their powers combine, come together, I want to forget that I'm watching a film, a television series. You know what I mean? Like I want to be that engrossed in it that for a split second, I'm like right there with them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Even in, even though they kind of threw me off guard in like episode 9 or 10. I'm gonna spoil it just a little bit. We might be able to cut this out later. I don't know. But I'm at the spot where Andor is imprisoned for what seems like nothing. Right? And I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? Like I didn't even realize the Empire was willing to go to this length there for seemingly nothing, because they had no idea that he's basically a wanted criminal. He had changed his name, right?
Yeah.
And they just snatch him up, very KGB style, and then the next thing you know, he's in prison. And I'm like, okay, waiting for the punchline, like, oh, this is all a setup that the Rebel Alliance was doing to kind of stick it to the Empire man, you know what I'm saying? And it just never came. And then his situation just looks more and more bleak. You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, like he's really in jail. Yeah. So God knows when. And I won't spoil this part for the people at home, but it's just like, he ends up having to think his way out of the situation. He's not Mary Sued or I don't know, what's that other term? Yeah. Or Deus Ex Machina, where he has some sort of special power out of nowhere. Yeah. To help him, like he literally has to use his brain, to figure out like how is it that I'm gonna get back to my regular life. Yeah. And one thing I was thinking about, but this is gonna be a little bit of pivot. I don't know if you mind or not.
Go for it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit of a spiritual
sure
ramification. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I think it would benefit the thing to have a deeper layer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Awesome. I'll go for it.
I think, yeah, for sure.
All right, here I go. So, when I literally last night, I was thinking about, dang, that's so messed up. Like what happened to Andor, what happened to Cassian. And I was thinking like, man, if that was me, like would I be able to handle something like this? Like being literally one day pulled off the street, thrown in jail. Like what would be my approach? How would I handle this situation? And like me being a man of faith, me believing in Jesus and God, I'm like, I would definitely be praying my butt off, hoping that a miracle happened.
Yeah.
And then that train of thought kind of got me down this rabbit hole of like, not that it's any comparison to being wrongfully imprisoned, but just how much my last year sucked. You know what I mean? And even in a sense, drawing the parallels between how much Andor's life had sucked up until that point. And I was like, God had to bring me through certain difficult things, you know what I mean? To put me on the track, even the mental track to what my purpose was, like in my life. Without going into super great detail. And before that episode, Andor reveals to the group that he's helping essentially rob the payload from the Empire. They're stealing a bunch of money from them. He tells them, he's like, yo, I'm just here for the money. Like, I support you guys. I believe in you guys. I'm not pro Imperial Navy, not pro Empire, but like, I'm just out here for number one. And I'm going to take my cut and I'm going to bounce. Right? And they're like, okay. And they just leave it at that. There's a lot in between though. But I was like, okay, there's going to be some sort of boomerang back to, to what we saw in Rogue One, him being a vital piece in the Rebel Alliance. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is more or less the spiritual catalyst. You're like,
Yeah.
no, this is real for me now.
Yeah.
Like, this bad thing had to happen to Andor, to Cassian, for him to feel the full weight of what was really going on in the Empire. And I haven't finished it yet, so please don't spoil it. You've been doing so good up until now. But I'm like, sometimes like God kind of takes you through what these things seem like huge detriments, huge setbacks to your life, and it kind of puts you on, not to sound too spiritual, but like puts you on the path of righteousness, puts you in the right mindset, the right mind frame to accomplish what you've been put on this earth to do, you know? And that kind of just made me appreciate that, even though it was only 2 episodes, that whole prison arc so much more. Because I'm like,
oh yeah,
he gets it now. He sees like the Empire bad, you know, like I'm literally feeling the repercussions of how horrible they are, and something's got to be done.
Basically solidifies his destiny.
Basically, yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
James 1:2, consider it pure joy when you face trials and weaknesses.
I used to hate it when people would say that to me.
I know.
Like,
I know.
You don't know my struggle.
Testing of your faith produces perseverance to work. That's good. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.